Today, I have the pleasure of discussing motivational interviewing. I'll break down the foundations of this counseling approach, outline the core principles the clinician uses to evoke the client's motivation for change, and finally, I will explain and demonstrate the communication techniques used to build a strong therapeutic relationship. So, what is motivational interviewing? Motivational interviewing is a client-centered approach that encourages the development of motivation and commitment to change by creating a supportive environment where clients are accepted and encouraged through techniques that prioritize the client's needs and draws on their intrinsic motivation to inspire change. The foundation of the approach. The foundation of this approach is based around four elements: to creating a partnership, acceptance, compassion, and evocation. These four elements build a safe and positive environment where the client can feel accepted, understood, supported, and encouraged. So how do we achieve this with the client? The following core principles help set the approach of a clinician to create the ideal relationship and space for a client. These are the core principles of the approach. They're represented in an acronym of RULE. R is resist the writing reflex. U, understand motivation. L, listen with empathy. And E, empower the patient. The core principles are used throughout the sessions, but each emphasize at different times of the interaction. This is easiest to think of as two different phases. Phase one is about engaging and focusing on the client's issues, goals, motivation style to ultimately form that relationship and space for the client. This early phase emphasizes the use of resisting the writing reflex and listening with empathy. Phase two emphasizes understanding motivation and empowering the patient to evoke change through intrinsic motivation. Ultimately, this means that the clinician has created a trusting relationship with the client that they feel they can express their thoughts and ideas. Then they empower the client to implement change through their own motivation and planning. Now that the clinician understands the foundations of motivational interviewing, they must be able to apply effective communication skills to truly understand and empower the client towards change. The acronym OARS represents four core communication techniques used within motivational interviewing. These include open-ended questions to encourage deeper discussions, affirmations to recognize clients' strengths and efforts, reflective listening to demonstrate understanding and encourage insight, summaries to reinforce key points and highlight change talk. Together, these techniques help create a safe, respectful, and collaborative environment. They allow the client to feel heard and understood while also encouraging them to reflect on their own thoughts and motivations. This process helps strengthen the client's confidence and supports their autonomy in making meaningful change. Now I'll briefly demonstrate how these communication principles can be applied in practice. Today I'm joined by Beck. I'm going to be demonstrating the OARS communication skills. For a bit of context, Beck's come in today and wanting to join a gym. So as an open-ended question, I would ask Beck, why do you want to join a gym, Beck?
Yep, so I haven't exercised for several months now. I have a desk job. I spend about 8 hours a day essentially sitting down. I've noticed that that's taken a toll on my body, and I've been getting a lot more injuries from sitting down so often. So I want to join a gym to strengthen my body and prevent future injuries.
Yeah, that's great. So off the back of that, I can demonstrate an affirmation. So from what you've said, I can hear that you really value your health. And now I'll demonstrate a reflection. So from what you've told me, I can hear that you really want to avoid injury. Now I'll demonstrate a summary. So from what you've told me, you have a very sitting-based job and you'd like to join a gym to reduce injury and become more mobile, to look after your body for the future.